what is this? What does this say? Let me see that. Oh, okay. It says Dragonborn. I need to speak to you urgently. Rent the attic room at the Sleeping Giant Inn in Riverwood. I'll meet you there. A friend. Well, that's just hilarious. What do you mean it's hilarious? Well, Mr. Barbarian, there is no attic room at the Sleeping Giant. I have stayed there numerous times, and if there was an attic room, I would have rented it long ago. What does it mean, then? I don't understand. Well, it's obviously some kind of code phrase. Now, let's say you go on there to Riverwood, and you come trotting into the inn asking for the attic room. Whoever left you that sassy note is gonna know you made it in here, right?
Still here.
Obviously, that proves something about your worth, does it not? Would you say that the areas you traversed earlier could have been done by anyone else who didn't have those fancy shouts you got? Well, no, probably not. Well, of course, then. Whoever got in here came in the back way, somehow. But why? Well, they obviously want to talk to you about something. Maybe they want to make a deal with you. Maybe that's what it's all about. Some kind of deal with the newly emerged Dragonborn. I can think of a few people who'd like to make a deal like that. Really? What kind of a deal? Oh, I don't know. I can think of a few things that a Dragonborn would be useful for, but you gotta ask a person who left that note. I recommend that you go to the Sleeping Giant. Ask for that attic room, like the note says. See who shows up. Bring some of your goons with, in case there's an ambush or something. Seems like a sound idea, I guess. What are these games? There was supposed to be a horn here, not a note. I don't like being toyed with.
Huh?
What do you think? Why must you be so damn stoic, woman? I ask you questions all the time. You never answer. Ooh, look at this. And this. That should be worth something. And these weapons. These are ancient weapons of the old style. Well, I thank you for your time, Ranger. Of course. Anytime. You know where to find me. I'll be up here, supervising the digging of great holes, and hopefully producing large quantities of gold and silver. Maybe other things as well. Who is messing with me? Who would have the guile to come in the back way, as he says? All right, so our path is laid out before us. So it is going to be back to Riverwood. or actually to Riverwood, back that direction, so back to the south. But I don't know, I mean, we haven't spent too much time in Riverwood as far as I can remember, so that'll be weird. All right. Now, we didn't take a lot of loot out of the mine because that loot is all the property of Robard. So we couldn't honestly take that. But we'll take some of the loot here. Got so many potions I could sell here. At some point I'm going to have to do that. I can make quick money on potions. Well, our work here is done. Let us go. We will gather up the rest of our crew and head back south to this sleeping giant, whatever lies beyond. Alright. Most of these guys got a little bit of gold on them, so may as well gather it up, I guess. Spell Tome. We're going to sell that to Farengar, I suppose. Now, the spell tomes, I'm really not grabbing those up because they're worth a lot of money or things like that. I'm kind of intentionally grabbing them with the idea that I'm going to sell them to Farengar because it does a couple of different things. First, it forces me to go back to Farengar periodically. From a mechanical perspective, I want to do that. And then it reinforces my roleplay objectives. Farengar is the first mage that we encountered, or the first academic in Skyrim that we went to at the suggestion of Idastog's brothers to try to find someone who could work as a scribe, or at least get closer to that. Given the fact that Farengar has the distinction of being sort of the first academic that we've gotten in touch with here in Skyrim, I'm using the idea of selling books as a way of sort of reminding myself to go back and touch base with Farengar from time to time, just because I think it's going to be useful from a roleplay perspective. So I don't want to get so caught up in what I'm doing that I forget to check in with him every so often. It's my way of continuing to work on sort of... I've got your back. Resolving this ongoing issue of translations. Right? So that would be kind of a minor example of using a game mechanic to force something in roleplay, I guess. All right. Now, let's get everyone up and out of here.
I got a hunch that Draugr need killing somewhere. It's just a hunch.
So, would you at least be willing to guide us back to Morthal, perhaps? Well, you understand. I don't really want to go there. I'm not interested in talking to Mother. But I will do this as a favor to you. Very well. All right. All right, so let's gather everyone up here. Okay, we got everybody.
I'm right behind. I've got your back.
Let's go ahead and transfer some gear over to Lydia before we get too far into things here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give Lydia this ebony bow. Okay. I think that makes sense. I am also going to... I kept this fur hood, padded fur mantle. I'm going to give that to her as well. Let's go ahead and... We've got an option here to only allow helmets during combat. I'm going to go ahead and check this off just because then she'll kind of...
Let's get going then.
Switch on and off with it a little bit. We'll get some different looks over the course of time. All right. So now, we are off. We're going to find our way to Morthal, and then what we're going to do is part ways with Robard and Morthal for now. And he is now a contact that we have made in Skyrim, and there will definitely be use for him again in the future. So we're going to chalk Robard up as a very useful contact that we'll have here in Skyrim. And then what I plan to do is we'll fold him into the story in the future as it makes sense, or as we need him for roleplay purposes, or to kind of sew together the seams of our story here. And that, of course, is going to bring our party down in size a little bit, which I think is perfect. So we'll kind of tighten things up a bit. This is a pretty good example of how I plan on using NPCs in these live streams.
A guy who survived in a dark cave.
So I'll be pulling them in and doing some custom voice work with them, and primarily using them to help me kind of stitch things together. So we'll probably see, Vander make appearances. We'll definitely see Marl make appearances, and maybe Twist make appearances. I don't know. It just depends on how things go. Some of these characters are easier to put together as NPCs than others, so trial and error, I guess.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something in the old fort near Riften. I might consider joining up myself.
Finally, someone comes in. Kick off your boots, stay a while. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I got nothing but time these days. There ain't much to offer, but if you want a place dry to spend the night, I'll rent you a room.
Very well, I'll take a
Sure
room.
thing. It's yours for a day.
Thank you.
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
I'm still here.
All right, so
Let me know if there's anything else.
Robard, we are going to dismiss, but we're going to have him hang out here. That way we know exactly where he is if we need him again. He's going to do his thing. And then in the morning, we are going to head out with our smaller crew. Let's see. Well, it already is morning, isn't it? We'll put in a quick 6 hours. All right. Block. Heavy armor.
Still here. You lead, I'll follow.
Okay. We will partake some food. All right. Now our path is obviously
watch over your battles, friend.
going to take us through territory that we've already tread. So at a certain point here, we're going to abbreviate that by at least fast traveling to Whiterun and then making our way on foot from there.
Watch the skies, traveler.
Next little helper to ask about.
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet.
As a general rule, what I do is I just try to kind of reinforce this rule that if I've gone over that spot multiple times recently or whatever, then I'll fast travel certain segments of it. Barrow. Ah, brother, I was going to have some fun with him. Foolish mages. Let's gather up this loot, I guess. Gather it, and let's take it. For those of you who are new to the story, I guess if you haven't gone back to review previous episodes, at some point I talked a little bit about
I've got your back.
my philosophy on looting with this character as well. And it has a lot to do with his feelings about... We discussed earlier about the dragon priests of Skyrim specifically. Since they're betrayers, taking their wealth is something he's not opposed to. But he would be very opposed to messing with the wealth of dragon priests who were in good standing in his mind. So that is kind of the rationale I'm using there. Okay, I am going to sacrifice a garnet, which is 100 septims. Last time I selected Hawk. Let's try wolf.
besides its pain.
Now we can kind of see what the effects are by looking here under our powers. Not powers, but active effects, I guess. The wolf increases attack damage by 4% and critical damage by 9% based on favor with the animal gods. So right now, we're at what? About almost 50% favor. In order to stay in favor, we've got to keep on track with our meditations. So it's imperative that we do that. All right, so now we are definitely treading well-trodden territory. It's going to take us up here through Labyrinthian, down here past Silent Moon's camp, and then over here to Whiterun. So let's reconvene at Whiterun Stables. What a
Shouldn't we be
gorgeous
out
day.
killing something?
Okay, we'll take a little shortcut over land here. So I'm thinking about the progression here. What makes the most sense? We talked a little bit earlier about kind of what his psychological disposition is towards the things that are going on right now. He's very, very serious about what's going on. He's very driven. There's a sense of urgency in what he's doing because he sees this path of knowledge as a possible path towards also resolving the conflict he has internally over guarding this knowledge. As he gains power, he has the ability to protect himself and consequently the knowledge better. But he also has the feeling that perhaps through this process, he might possibly unlock some powerful magic that might allow him to find some way to record this knowledge for posterity. So to him, there's a certain urgency in pursuing this. I think a lot of it has to do with just his faith. His thought is that the elder gods would not lead him down this path of self-discovery if there was not a great purpose in it. And let's be honest, being able to read the dragon language, being able to shout, being able to put on a mask and travel into another dimension, being able to absorb the soul of the ancient an ancient dragon, right? Who is the dragons are this revered race, of course, that was, cults were built around them in Atmora. These are all signs that he's on the right track and that something very, very significant is happening. So, I think what he would do is he would immediately pursue this, right? So we know that Delphine is going to present him with a mission. We have the choice whether to do that mission right away or put it off. I think that under the circumstances, Idastog wouldn't put it off. I think he would do it right away. So...
What? You looking for a new blade?
That's what I'm thinking right now.
Take a look.
Welcome to the stream, Hector. We are playing Skyrim Special Edition. Okay. So we're going to get rid of that because we don't need the weight. We're going to get rid of that because we already have those enchantments. We don't need that anymore. Okay. Well, let's see what he's got for sale.
Weapons and armor.
We are still looking for a couple of key items for Lydia's loadout. Primitive Nord gauntlets, maybe. Okay. We could take those gauntlets.
Until next time.
Still here. I've got your back.
So let's just add these to her loadout. They're going to match her boots and I think give her more protection in combat and from the cold. At least visually, right? It all seems to make much more sense. So let's go ahead and add those in. And then we can take these back because we can resell those.
Let's get going then.
That makes a bit more sense. All right, let's go across the street also, see if we can sell anything there.
The Riverwood Trader is everything. My sister Camilla or I will be happy to help you. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
We're going to liquidate some of this jewelry and junk we don't need. Make some money with it. See what Lucan's got. Okay.
Damn thieves. As if things weren't bad enough.
I've got your back. I'm right behind you. I've got your back. I'm right behind you.
All right, let's go find out about this crazy attic room, shall we?
You're new around here, so I'll go easy on you. But don't get on my bad side.
Oh, I surely won't, little man. You seem a terror.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat.
This is a local favorite and one of the first songs I ever learned. Ragnar the Red.
Wait a minute.
Oh, there once was a hero named Ragnar the Red.
You're that visitor been poking around.
I recognize you from Farengar's office.
I'm the innkeeper. It's my business to keep track of strangers.
How about the attic room?
Attic room, eh? Well, we don't have an attic room, but you can have
So
the
I've
one on the
been
left.
told.
Make yourself at home.
Now I think it's high time that you lie down and bleed. And so then
This
came clashing
game
and
she
slashing of
plays.
steel as the brave lass Matilda charged in full of zeal.
One on the left.
And the braggart named Ragnar was boastful no more when his ugly red head rolled around on the floor.
All right, let's have all of our followers relax. see nothing in here.
So you're the Dragonborn I've been hearing so much about. I think you're looking for this.
The
We
horn.
need to talk. Follow me. Now we can talk.
Give me a mug of ale.
Coming right up.
What is this all about?
The Greybeards seem to think you're the Dragonborn. I hope they're right.
I need some more ale. Or
You've had more than enough. Besides, you still haven't paid for the last one.
I'll find some coin for you. I always
The
do.
Greybeards are right.
Until then,
I
no
am the Dragonborn.
I hope so, but you'll forgive me if I don't assume that something's true just because the Greybeards say so. I just handed you the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. Does that make me Dragonborn too?
Oh, don't be cheeky. You cheated. You'd better have a good reason for dragging me here. I have other things to do.
It was the only way I could make sure it wasn't a Thalmor trap. I am not your enemy. I already gave you the horn. I'm actually trying to help you. I just need you to hear me out.
All right, I'm listening.
Like I said in my note, I've heard that you might be Dragonborn. I'm part of a group that's been looking for you. Well, someone like you, for a very long time. If you really are Dragonborn, that is. Before I tell you any more, I need to make sure I can trust you.
How can I trust you?
If you don't trust me, you were a fool to walk in here in the first place.
I have my blade. That gives me confidence. Why did you take the horn?
I knew the Greybeards would send you there if they thought you were Dragonborn. They're nothing if not predictable. When you showed up here, I knew you were the one the Greybeards sent, and not some Thalmor plant.
All right, I guess that's smart. Why are the Thalmor after you?
Yes, we're very old enemies. And if my suspicions are correct, they might have something to do with the dragons returning. But that isn't important right now. What is important is that you might be Dragonborn.
All right. Why are you looking for the Dragonborn?
We remember what most don't, that the Dragonborn is the ultimate dragon slayer. You're the only one that can kill a dragon permanently by devouring its soul. Can you do it? Can you devour a dragon's soul?
I absorb some kind of power. I don't know if it's a soul or if it's energy or what it is.
This is no time to play the reluctant hero. You either are or aren't Dragonborn. But I'll see for myself soon enough.
All right. Why are you looking for the dragon?
We remember what most don't, that the Dragonborn is the ultimate dragon slayer. You're the only one that can kill a dragon permanently by devouring its soul.
I believe all this devouring of souls is just a flowery way of saying transference of energy of some sort. Devouring. What are you not telling me?
Dragons aren't just coming back. They're coming back to life. They weren't gone somewhere for all these years. They were dead, killed off centuries ago by my predecessors. Now something's happening to bring them back to life, and I need you to help me stop it.
Well, I know they're back. I've seen them with my own eyes, but what makes you think they're coming back to life?
I know they are. I visited their ancient burial mounds and found them empty. And I figured out where the next one will come back to life. We're going to go there, and you're going to kill that dragon. If we succeed, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Very well. So where are we headed?
Kynes Grove. There's an ancient dragon burial near there. If we can get there before it happens, maybe we'll learn how to stop it.
Let me ask you, how good are you with a bow? I have a companion who can bring it down to the ground, and then we can kill it.
I need to get into my traveling gear. Give me a minute and I'll be ready.
Very good. Shall I avert my eyes? Fine. Go ahead, change.
That's better. Let's get on the road to Kynes Grove.
Very nice. Cannot read that. But this seems important.
Orknar, I'm traveling. You've got the inn till I get back.
Right. Happy trails.
Leave the secret door open.
Honor to you, my Thane.
Keep an eye on my brother.
Less talk.
He's an
more
asshole.
Blood spilling.
Long life to you, Thane.
Where's Thero? Thero.
What do you need, my friend?
Ugh.
All right,
This. Actions. Follow.
Out of my way, stranger.
Now, let's do actions. Stop.
then. We heading out?
Thero. Follow me.
Let's get going.
All
What are you
right.
staring at?
So we're breaking the party down even further. Lydia and Hoth are staying in
Kynes Grove is
Riverwood,
this way. We can travel together or split up and meet.
and we are going to
Your
take
choice.
Thero with us. Just because we know her to be good with the bow, and she could maybe help us bring that dragon out of the sky so we could fight it on the ground. Hopefully Delphine can just get used to the idea that I'm bringing someone with me. All right, and off we go. Now we are going to hoof it all the way there, my friends. We're going to hoof it all the way there. But that's because one of my favorite things, one of my favorite moments in the game is actually just traveling this road with Delphine, and kind of the... It helps to kind of build the tension around this idea of the impending dragon battle, right? I sort of like that. So we're going to do that. But that also gives us an opportunity to talk along the way.
You better keep moving.
One of the things that has come up in the chat is the idea of how Idastog fits into the larger Lorcan universe, and is it Marl the Dragonborn?
I hope you're Dragonborn, I really do. But we'll find out soon enough.
Well, what I've determined is, after much consideration, is that the Dragonborn, in sort of the traditional sense, is represented by Idastog. And that Marl is playing sort of the all-important role of being the glue that ties these disparate stories together.
I doubt the Thalmor are aware of it, so we should be safe from them.
As I think of it in my playthrough, the idea, right, in the game is that this idea of the Dragonborn, it's kind of this mythical character, right, who comes along every so many hundred years, or when the world needs it, right? Well, as I'm thinking about it in my story, is that the Dragonborn, in actuality, represents a particular person who has a manifestation of Lorcan particles that allow him to shout. That allow him to shout naturally. And so each of the characters that I'm using in the Lorcan universe have some kind of special power attributed to them, or an ability that's attributed to them through their sensitivity to the Lorcan particles. For Idastog, that happens to be the ability to use the Thume naturally, and to absorb energy from a dead or dying dragon. It's the Lorcan particles working inside of his body that allow him to accomplish this task. So, similar thing would be the way that Vander, when he's running at full speed, will burst into flame to help protect himself from his enemies, right? That's a manifestation of Lorcan particles in his body. That's a special ability that he has. So each of these characters have been touched in some way by the Lorcan particles, in some way that makes them special or sets them apart from other people in the world. So
Better
that's
to stick
kind of...
together. I don't want you to get yourself killed before we even get there.
Kind of how I look at it, right? So we've seen Vander's powers manifest. We've seen Idastog's powers manifest. We've not yet seen how Okan's powers manifest necessarily. We may have some hints about Twist, perhaps. But there will be some opportunities in the future to get more clarity around that. And Marl is the guy who holds all the stories together. And so we're going to see Marl playing, I think, more of a role in that capacity in the future. We're going to have some adventures like this that feature Marl and Mr. Whack.
Remember, we're not looking for trouble. We need to get to Kynes Grove as fast as we can.
And that works out pretty good because Marl is not just a mage, he's a scholar and a scientist who understands what the Lorcan particles are and sort of how they work. And through the process of investigating...
But it's also the shortest way to Kynes Grove, so we may have to kill a few bandits.
In the process of investigating how all of this works and stuff like that, we'll get to hear Marl's insights as he tries to figure out what makes the particles work and what makes them manifest in some people and not others and all this kind of stuff. So that's what I'm hoping to pull off with this. Now it's a little bit more complicated to do because I'm doing these as live streams, but in other ways it's easier. So I spend less time doing production work and more time focusing on, I guess, sort of a live presentation of these things. I don't always get what I want doing this method because I don't have as much control over the story. However, the story progresses more rapidly because I'm not spending so much time after the fact doing video production and cutscenes and voiceovers and all those things. And while those episodes and stuff are, I think, really entertaining to watch, and I'm very, very proud of them, I don't really have the capacity to do that extra work right now. So this is a way for us to keep adventuring without me having to overreach, I guess. And for you guys to get a little update on the story every week. So that's the idea. And so I live streamed on Tuesday of this week. I also live streamed yesterday, and then kind of a long one today. We're hitting the 3-hour mark here to kind of make up for some of the streams that I missed.
We may both end up dead, but at least it gets me out of Riverwood.
Well, I was down with this arm issue. It's an issue I'm still dealing with, but it's manageable now, so I'm trying to catch up. Here we are. All right. So, what the heck is going on inside Idastog's head right now? do you think? Is Theryl still with us? Yes, she is. Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier.
We'll cross the White River and follow it to Windhelm. Then we can swing south to Pines Grove. Keep a sharp lookout. We can't afford any delays.
He's following a river of experience that he thinks is leading him towards his fate.
If you know any true sons and daughters of Skyrim, tell them to head to Windhelm. Ulfric Stormcloak wants
He is putting his faith in destiny, confident that the Elder Gods are going to guide him
Remember,
towards a
we're not
resolution
looking for trouble.
to this
We need
problem.
To get to Pines Grove as fast as we can.
And at this point, he's pursuing dragons and all of this business out of curiosity, not out of any particular sense of loyalty to the people of Skyrim. He's more interested in this for selfish reasons. He wants to understand what's going on in his life and what this power means. Now, there may come a time when that changes, but right now he has no particular affinity for the people of Skyrim. He is basically a foreigner in Skyrim. He doesn't have any connection with the people here. If these same dragons were attacking his birthplace in Atmora, then it might be different. But right now, he's selfishly pursuing his destiny.
There's an inn at Pines Grove, the Braidwood. I hear they serve a nice dark ale. Nothing on the Sleeping Giant, of course.
Dark ale sounds good. What are you doing, Theryl? This woman runs almost as fast as you. Oh, shit. She's quick. What is that? That structure.
Should have picked somebody else.
Bah!
That takes care of it.
That is a noble beast. Sizable. Wait up, woman. Look at that. Wait, did you hear that? I heard a dragon. I have only heard that sound twice before, but it is not a sound you soon forget. Listen. Do you hear it?
Look out! That's how it's done.
Well done. We circled up nicely. That is the way to fight wolves back to back.
Keep a sharp lookout. We can't afford any delays.
I swear I heard it, Theryl. Did you not? There it is. Listen. So, the White River. Bridge crossing. That is close to Windhelm, is it not? That is a well-known
That's
seat
the way you want it.
of Nord power. I have heard that this Windhelm is the headquarters of the Stormcloak Rebellion. Is that true? Why must I answer your questions and you don't answer mine? Seems unjust. Ooh, these are bigger. Perhaps I should teach you both wolf hunting technique. Everyone knows when encountering a wolf.
Not too much farther now.
You
Trying
pick
to go
them up
just
by the
down
front
road.
paws and give them a big hug, followed by a punch in the muzzle. That's how it works.
Better to stick together. I don't want you to get yourself killed before we even get there.
Very funny. All right. Clearly we should have some sort of plan when fighting this dragon, don't you think? What will be the procedure? Any thoughts? Look at this ugly building, Theron. Looks run down. Who would destroy this area with such an ugly building, do you suppose? Where did she go?
No, you don't want to go up there.
What?
A dragon. It's attacking.
Dragon. Kinesgrove, yes?
Well, I don't know. Not yet. It flew over the town and landed on the old dragon mound. I don't know what it's doing up there, but I'm not waiting around to find out.
I
Come
see.
on, hurry. We might be too late.
Well, that supports your theory that they're emerging from the dead. Yes? Alright. Let's make sure we're ready for this, ladies and gentlemen. Unrelenting Force is going to be our friend in this. We got a couple of worthy archers with us too, so... Look, I see these. Oh, that's huge.
Come on. We need to find out what's
bigger
happening.
than the ones I've seen.
Look at his eyes. Look at that big bastard.
Big bastard is right. Where is this mound? Come. Ready yourself, Theral. I recommend bow, please, if you wouldn't mind. Okay. She'll follow her lead. Look at it.
Salukunier.
It speaks.
Zil Guro Dova Ursa.
Steady. I don't know what's happening. Let's watch and wait. This is worse than I thought.
Alduinturi. O Antipokri Hasuixension Kuzik. Ke Salukunier. Kalimir.
Are they speaking?
Side Zuu. Korav need no dove to hide. You do not even know our tongue, do you? Such arrogance to dare take for yourself the name of Dova.
I have taken no such name. we're going to switch over to our black wolf pelts. That is going to give us some protection against fire. Who knows how much. Minor healing. Let's try to at least recover what we lost there. We got some other things that might help us out here, but we've got nothing specifically that's going to help us to resist fire. So we may have to burn a lot of potions here. We'll just see. We'll start some regeneration.
I am Salopnir.
This one's mine.
Die, beast!
That takes care of it. I'll be damned. You did it. Wait, something's happening. God's above.
Ah, this always happens.
So you really are.
Yes! This is what I've been telling you, woman. You are so annoying.
It's true, isn't it? You really are Dragonborn.
Yes. Hang on, I'm a bit thirsty. Yeah. Let's see. Some Nord mead. Ah, that wets the whistle. Cools the palate, so to speak. Now, you owe me some answers.
I owe you some answers, don't I?
Oh, yes.
Go ahead. Whatever you want to know. Nothing held back.
All right. So, what are you doing on Sundays around noon? Ah, forget that. What do you know about the dragons coming back?
Not a damn thing. I was just as surprised as you to find that big black dragon here.
All right. Well, that's not an answer. Look, who are you, and what do you want with me?
I'm one of the last members of the Blades. A very long time ago, the Blades were dragon slayers, and we served the Dragonborn, the greatest dragon slayer. For the last 200 years since the last Dragonborn Emperor, the Blades have been searching for a purpose. Now that dragons are coming back, our purpose is clear again. We need to stop them.
Good enough. So, what's the next move?
The first thing we need to do is figure out who's behind the dragons. The Thalmor are our best lead. If they aren't involved, they'll know who is.
The gods are behind this woman, not the Thalmor. Why do you think they're involved?
Nothing solid, yet. But my gut tells me it can't be anybody else. The Empire had captured Ulfric. The war was basically over. Then a dragon attacks, Ulfric escapes, and the war is back on. And now the dragons are attacking everywhere, indiscriminately. Skyrim is weakened. The Empire is weakened. Who else gains from that but the Thalmor?
Ugh. You understand nothing. All right. So, we need to find out what the Thalmor know about the dragons. What are your ideas in this regard?
If we could get into the Thalmor embassy, it's the center of their operations in Skyrim. Problem is, that place is locked up tighter than a miser's purse. They could teach me a few things about paranoia.
Thalmor embassy? How do we get into the embassy?
I'm not sure yet. I have a few ideas, but I'll need some time to pull things together. Meet me back in Riverwood. If I'm not back when you get there, wait for me. I shouldn't be long. Keep an eye on the sky. This is only going to get worse.
This woman is frustrating, Theral. What do you think? Hmm?
I'm right behind you.
I see a dead dragon. And it has gold.
I've got your back.
Look at this barrow. Come. So, this is a dragon burial mound. She is indeed correct. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. Dragons coming back from the dead. Sounds ridiculous. Definitely the gods. The Elder Gods, that's who. Who else would have the power to resurrect a dragon but the Elder Gods themselves? What is this place?
Still here.
Oh, this looks like fun. Traps here. Be careful. Huh. Look at this fool. This place is a wreck.
That's close enough.
Are you willing to die for your meager claim? Is that it? I guess he was foolish.
You think you stand a
Count out your
chance?
coin. It'll be so much easier to rob when you're dead.
Yes, you are trapped in there, fools. Good luck. What a bunch of idiots.
You're pathetic.
Ah, you are a barrel rider, I see. You know,
There you are.
you are an intriguing woman, Theral.
I'll rip your heart out!
If you weren't an elf, I would be tempted.
You think you stand a chance?
You'd be tempted anyway. Look at her standing on that barrel. She has dexterity. I'm just going to take this loot, fools. Alright. Well, this was a waste of time. This place is obviously a bandit magnet, is it not?
Stand a chance?
Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. Do we dare? Do we count ourselves among the fools by going inside? What do you say? Come, let's go.
Ha! Found you.
Ah, hello! Eh,
You're pathetic.
pathetic. Yes, pathetic.
Damn you! Go ahead! Try and fight back!
Come, Farrell, there is much fun down in this hole. No, I am at Morin, fool.
Rip you open!
This is the reason why I'm slaying you and your friends. Anyone else? Well, that was fun. Farrell. Farrell? Hey, I didn't mean the whole thing, me hitting on you. I wasn't really hitting on you, I was just joking. Hey, throw me a rope. Farrell? Oh, shit. Alright, well. You got it, bastards. Ah, I see. Mostly garbage. There are a lot of them, aren't there? Spellbook. Farrell! Damn it! Where did she go? Do not forget, woman, our destinies are tied together. You cannot escape me, no matter how you try. Apparently, there is no end to my curiosity about barrows. I find myself in this predicament. Perhaps I can get out this way. Well, I bet. Yes. Okay. Alright, damn it. Fool me once. Twice, I think not. Damn these things. Ah, I see. Oh, wait, look. There's a chest in there. Aha. What do you suppose she's doing? Did she leave me down here alone out of spite? It certainly isn't fear. I've not known Farrell to be afraid of anything. Perhaps she's just being contrary. Right. Perhaps that's it. It could be that she's taken enough of my shit and is just angry. That's most likely the thing. Bring it, big boy.
I think you're bleeding. Now okay.
Okay. This barbarian gets nervous when he sees those hammers. Hammers are bad. All right. What is going on here? See that? Traps. Who's this now? All right.
What was that? Did you hear something? Over here. I'll kill you if I have to.
Run into the trap. Do it.
Try and fight back. Best, I'll kill you if I have to.
Dead.
Oh, well.
I
Must have
freaking
run off.
died.
Need something?
Couldn't get to the potions fast enough. Okay, hang on everybody. I need to take a quick bio break. I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. All right, we are back. Now, I know the route I took last Let's explore up here a little bit, though. It's interesting what the game does, right? I mean, we started out with a crew of 5, and we were down to a crew of 3, and then 2, and now he is solo once again. This looks ominous. Old ones. Reflexes are slow. Well. Take it? Is it too heavy? Gods. What is this place? This has to be the lair of those vile dragon priests. The betrayers. Must be. All right. Let us continue on. All right. We're going to finish this out. I'm going to turn up the music a little bit.
Time to end this little game. Give up while you still can. Time to go. Just a scratch! No!
next? Now these guys are tougher. Their armor is better for sure. So let's try to use the terrain to our advantage here. Hey, one down. Woo! Let's get some regeneration going there. And I think we better use that stamina so I can keep up the blocks. Alright. Tell ya. Ah! Nuts! Right into the trap. Yes, yes, I get it. Alright, let's try it again. I went balls to the wall on that one. I thought I'd give it a shot, but
yes?
The bandit chief he takes a lot of effort. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw their aggression, and then we're going to retreat down this hall with the fire traps in it and see if we can mop some of them up with fire traps. Let's go. All right.
The best you can do.
All right, that worked out all right. Now, let's do this. Okay, first health, and then healing. So we're increasing our health and then adding some health, right? Defender to help the blocking. We'll go with that for now. And then we'll hit the stamina. A bit. Now, these mages are dumb, man. Like, if they let me get close, that's kind of the kiss of death for them. All right. Yeah, we used the terrain to our advantage. That helped. We gotta let these burn themselves out. So we'll search these guys. Ah, key. That's good to have. Barbarian boots. All right, bridge F5. Let's look down here first. See if Ah, there we go. Now, it is kind of interesting to consider. Mechanically speaking, I'm sure that Theral isn't down here because that hole that got us down in here was probably not nav-meshed, right? But in terms of roleplay, I think it's a much more interesting question. Why didn't she follow him down, right? Shit. Of threshing. Okay, nothing there. Right. Okay. Ah, it has fallen over. I think I have that already, but... Now we could attribute that. I think the obvious idea is that, oh, she's mad at him or, you know, something like that. Nasty. But the other option could be that she has something in her background that gives her an aversion to going down into that pit.
Still here.
Where did you come from? Were you waiting for me? How did you know what came out here? What is this? So, I think what I'm going to do is, that's a tiny, tiny little cue that the game gave us because we have a mod in here that wasn't properly nav-meshed or wasn't intentionally nav-meshed for followers, right? But one of the things I love about Skyrim is that we can take all of these experiences, good, bad, indifferent, and we can make something out of them. And so this experience has led me down this path of thinking about who is Theral, and does she have some kind of an issue? Some kind of a claustrophobic kind of thing going on, and how could we show that in the roleplay, and how could we exploit that later on for story purposes? So, I'm going to think about that. But right now, we hear another dragon. Ah, look at the bastard. Yes. Come, girl. Look it. See. What do you think? This strikes me as our opportunity to make our bones as dragon killers. What do you say? Are you in? All right. Okay, let's get a little bit closer. And then I assure you, I will F5. Just need to get a bit closer. Holy shit. Well done. Come, we will use this structure for cover. We can scout from here. Ah, it's stuck! Ah! Damn it. Lost opportunity. Bring it down there. Come. Bring it down, yes. Ah! Did it.
Still here.
You are still here.
Oh. I've got your back.
I understand that we are supposed to hate one
Still here.
That is what my people would preach. However,
I'm right behind you.
Are my truest companion by far, more so than my brothers. You do not understand me. You seem to.
Still here.
Now that was great. That was, really good. When I think about this playthrough, I really do think...
Let's get going, then.
...about Idastog and Theral as being the heart of the story. Ultimately, it's less... The journey of this story is less about Idastog and his brothers and more about the elven woman they brought with. And her evolving relationship with this guy, Idastog, who is not only an Atmoran, who, according to the worship of Shore, has been directed to hate her simply because she's an elf. Well, what we've seen already is that he has rejected the teachings of Shore, and he's embraced the teachings of the old ways, or the elder gods, which don't emphasize the same thing. They revere ancestors and the worship of sacred animals and all of this kind of stuff, right? And there's part of me that thinks that
I've got a bad feeling about this.
part of what this character's journey is all about is kind of like him rejecting the ways of his people while at the same time trying to save his people, right? Which, for me, just feels like a fun and sort of fantastic premise. So... it is miraculous. Truly, truly a gift.
I'm right behind you.
Mighty weapons gifted from the gods. These will
I'm
help.
right behind you.
I will keep them. Okay, reinforced leather boots. 20% chance to avoid stagger from power attacks and bashes. That's nice. Someone could use those.
Still here.
All right, so Theral has done a pretty amazing job. Maybe we can give her the gift of a weapon, provided one of these that we found is better than what she's already got. Although I've become quite accustomed to her using that interesting scimitar. Look at that. I mean, that thing is just cool looking. Let's see what we've got here. We found a couple of different ones. This is a relic. It'd be the only one that you can use. That, man, that damage is off the charts nuts. I think in the interest of keeping this game playable, we're probably not going to equip anyone with this. However, Baptism of Fire is kind of a nice one. There might be someone in the crew who could use that eventually. I don't know. We'll see. But, I don't know. Theral has always had this awesome scimitar, and I feel like it's her signature weapon. I think what I would rather do is smith it up nicely for her or something like that. So the next opportunity we'll get, we'll see if we can sharpen it up for her and make it a bit more deadly. But I've gotten accustomed to her using the scimitar, and I think it fits her really well. So I think we'll just stick with what she's got here. And of course, her armor is kind of part of her signature look, so I don't want to change any of that either. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is coming on 3 hours and 50 minutes. I think a 4-hour live stream is about my maximum. So, I believe I am going to call it here. But what I plan to do, for those of you who couldn't make it to the live stream or not the entire thing, I will be publishing this. I'll probably split it into 2 separate videos, so 2 2-hour installments, something like that. All right? I want to thank you guys all so much for your continued support, for helping me out, for paying attention to what's going on, for enjoying the adventures and participating in the podcast, all the wonderful things that you do to support Character Crusade and to support CouchWarrior TV. I appreciate it all very, very much, and I will see you in the next live stream, which is going to be this coming Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we will continue our Barbarian adventures. Until next time, goodbye.